Hi, welcome to the Low-FODMAP Foodie. Thank you to all of you who have been watching my other videos. It's inspiring to know that I am not alone on my journey and that other people are there with me and can also find very healthy, very tasty recipes that can be substituted for high FODMAP foods. So today I thought it would be fun to do a slow cooker meal, and one that I recently invented myself and have tried it a couple of times and tested it and thought it was very nutritious and delicious and just a wonderful November night dinner. I have bought a pound of the 90% lean grass-fed ground beef, and that serves about a family of 3 or 4. If you're going to be serving larger than that, then I would want to increase how much ground meat I use. I'm going to add some water to my crock pot and also some au juice gravy. You can also alternate that and fill in, if you want even more low FODMAP, you can find a bone broth that doesn't have, a lot of garlic or onion and seasonings you can't tolerate, or you can just do plain water, whatever kind of stock or flavoring, just so you have some liquid in your pot that covers the bottom of your crock pot. So as I say, I take this Heinz home style gravy and I dilute it down with water and just cover the bottom of my crock pot. It gives my ground beef some flavoring and also just makes a nice sauce. My first step is going to be to lightly brown the ground beef. This helps, gives it a little bit of flavor and also makes it more appealing. When I put it in my crock pot, you'll see the nice crispy golden brown edges. You don't want to overcook your meat. You certainly don't want it cooked all the way through. Like I said, it's just browning along the edge of it. Now I'm just going to turn this down a little and just quickly brown my sides. And on this side, again, just enough to get a brown edge. And now that I've browned my edges, I'm going to transfer it to my crock pot. And once in my crock pot, I'm going to take my measuring cup. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water. And then to that, I'm going to add enough au juice to finish covering the bottom of the pot. Now again, if the au juice has spices you can't have, this is less than 2% onion and garlic. You can use bone broth that you can find without onion and garlic, or just use more water. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting up my beef with my spatula to a somewhat fine ground. You can also do this recipe if you want with a tomato sauce, which is low FODMAP, and you can make some tacos. So now you can see my meat is all diced and in my pot. I am cooking my ground beef on low for 4.5 hours for the pound of ground beef. Obviously, if you have more ground beef or less, you have to adjust the time. You can also cook it on high for 3 to 5 hours, and you can check in on it. I always use a meat thermometer at the end to make sure it's reached the safe temperature of 160 degrees. Hi, welcome back. So now I am ready to steam my carrots. My ground beef has been cooking for a little over 4 hours, and I'm going to steam my baby carrots. I like them extra soft, so about 15 to 17 minutes on a medium heat. So I will now put them into my steamer. You can also pan roast these with a little olive oil. You don't have to steam them. You can have them raw. There's all different ways, but I happen to like to put mine in my steamer pot. And now they're going to just steam on a medium heat. My lid on. and they're gonna go for about 15 minutes. So to go with my ground beef and my carrots, I'm gonna do some very simple Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Now, they do have some seasoning in them, more pepper I find than anything, but you can do any side you like. You can do rice, you can do pasta, you know, if you want, you can use the gluten-free pasta so there's no wheat. You can do a baked potato, whatever you like is your side. I just happen to like these potatoes. And it's so easy. I just pop them in the microwave. You can do them on the stove top. Again, there's flexibility there. And now we have our finished meal. I also drizzled a little bit of honey over my carrots. Again, personal preference. Honey is high FODMAP, but in the tiny amount I drizzled over the top, it seems to not make a difference for me. So again, there's the ground beef en juice, mashed potatoes, and steamed carrot. Enjoy, bon appetit.